what we use to rise above the illusions of life are overcome by our life. Bhava means love. Spirits are awake again. When we all leave here today, we get to feel more enlightened. Yeah, yeah. Bhava means love. It's what we use to rise above the illusions of life. We overcome with our light. Bhava means love. Our love is Bhava. Our love is Bhava. Means love.
Hi, beauties. Welcome, welcome to another Bhava Spiritual Mission Sunday broadcast. Thrilled to be here with you today. Thrilled to be doing this incredible work and showing up for spirit. And thrilled that you are here showing up for spirit with us as well, to create this incredible sacred container where we can receive Divine Spirit's message and expand on it and make it understandable and practical and take it out and apply it to our lives, raising the vibration of this planet one beautiful soul at a time. So thank you so much for showing up. My name is Ingrid Turner. I'm the founder of the Bhava Spiritual Mission, which is a digital church. We are non-denominational and we believe in the dogma of no dogma. So what that means is all walks of life are welcome in our community. And we understand that the common thread is our faith. And that package can look like whatever feels good to you, whatever you deeply resonate with. We all know when we're faith-filled that God is everywhere. God is everything. And so it just doesn't matter. It's how it shows up for you. So for those of you who are new to our broadcast today, I'm going to be sharing with you a message that I have channeled from Divine Spirit. I channel a guide, a spirit named Mons. He's like my user-friendly interface to the divine, okay? So he shows up to make it real tangible for me and accessible so I can have conversation. And my job is to get out of the way and to dictate as precisely as I can the message that is coming through from Divine Spirit. After I deliver the message, we're going to talk about it. Okay, I have some words to say about it. And I'm going to bring on one of our Bhava leaders, Miss Yvonne Marie, who has some things to say about it as well. And together, between me, Yvonne, and you, we're going to expand on this message. And I always use the analogy of a patchwork quilt. I've got a piece, Yvonne has a piece, you have a piece, and we're going to stitch these pieces together, and we're going to create this big, beautiful, warm, comfy quilt. Okay, this is how we show up to truly understand the divine. It's to work together, to be a community, to share our wisdom, our experience, and what we're receiving from Holy Spirit, and take that out into the world to be of divine service. All right, so without further ado, let's do this. I'm going to go ahead and ground us in, and then I'm going to read you the message, and then we'll talk about it. So if you're able to, I want you to go ahead and close your eyes, take 3 deep breaths, in through the nose, out through the mouth. feel all of your energy pool in your root chakra. Maybe it'll be warm or tingly. Or you'll just be aware that it's happening. Take a deep breath in and pull the energy from your root into your heart. Exhale and hold the energy in your heart. Inhale and pull the energy from your heart into your crown. Exhale and hold the energy in your crown. Inhale and pull the energy out of your body. Feel it connect to divine source energy. And with the out breath, pull that energy back into your body and into your heart. Breathe in and hold the energy in your heart. Breathe out and pull the energy down to your root. Breathe in and hold the energy in your root. Breathe out and push the energy down your legs and into your feet. Breathe in and hold the energy in your feet. Breathe out and push the energy into the earth. Feel that energy hook in with your earth's core and take a deep breath in and pull it back up towards your feet. Exhale. Inhale and feel the energy hit the soles of your feet and move up your legs and pool again in the root chakra and exhale into your root chakra. I want to encourage you to keep your eyes closed, but to open your auras up. Open yourself big and wide to receive the message from Divine Spirit. Don't worry too much about remembering every single word. Let the energy, let the message, the essence of the message itself settle deeply into your body. It's time to put your trust in God. Every twinge, grief, upset, and piece of resistance must go to God. In this way, you relieve yourself of all unnecessary suffering and open up space to love yourself once again. Self-love is a radical act of devotion to the divine. Who are you to judge God's creation, to judge God's own experience here on earth? No, beloved, you're meant to love. You're meant only for love. Everything else is but a wobbly reflection of love. You see, when you love yourself, you open yourself to the great epic that was written for you before you arrived. So give it all up. Give up everything and be left with love. Then focus foremost on training that love on yourself. Absolutely every beautiful thing flows from there. Absolutely every beautiful thing. Do us this honor of loving yourself once more. Bring us the gift of your self-acceptance. Delight us with your glorious quirks and fulfill us deeply with your own satisfaction. Everything you seek is in yourself, and it is love, love, love that illuminates all secrets. Okay, take a deep breath with me. Let that settle in, sink in, worm its way into every cell. Love, 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 self-love. Self-love is truly everything. It is truly everything. I want to sort of talk about, I definitely want to talk about what I call conditioned unlovability. So what is conditioned unlovability? That is when you have learned to identify your whole being with other people's limited perceptions of you, very limited perceptions of you, and also their projections, especially their not love projections. Everybody you encounter is dealing with conditioned unlovability. So it's not your job to fix anybody else. It's not your job to get other people to love themselves. It's your job to love yourself. So conditioned unlovability, it's any belief that you hold as a result of whatever came in that you decided to identify with, because that's what we're taught to do. Look to our environment to understand ourselves. It's not terribly accurate. So any belief, Conditioned unlovability is any belief that is out of alignment with your perfection, with your perfect self, the perfection of your being. The perfection of your being, any belief. But here's the good news. Anything that's conditioned is unconditionable too. Anything. This unlovability that you feel, anything you feel inside yourself that is not in alignment with your perfection, it is conditioning. And so it does not originate from you. It is not inside you. It's like layers on top of you. And all we need to do is peel back those layers. How do we do that? Well, first we recognize that our beliefs, what is a belief? A belief is a story we have put our faith in. A belief is a story we have put our faith in. And this is interesting because this brings me to a little bit I want to talk about faith a little bit here. Faith is your God power. It's not that when you have faith in something, you make it real. It's like the observer effect, right? That's what that is. That's faith. When you can change something simply by observing it, it is your belief about that thing, that object, that experience that creates it. That's how we are living in this world. We are God creator beings. And so when we are willy-nilly with our faith, we are putting it into beliefs that are out of alignment with our core perfection as God's beings. We're not just God's creation, yes, but we are God's creation. We are God creating ourselves in the physical. So here's the answer to those beliefs that are the result of our conditioned unlovability. The answer is to redirect our faith. So Spirit say, give it to God. It's time to give it to God. We don't have time anymore to be playing around in anything that is just a wobbly reflection of divine love, of our divine essence. We have to let it go. This is the new earth. This is the new paradigm of divine love. This is the paradigm of love. So you've got to give it to God. So when you're giving these stories to God, when you're saying, this is my conditioned unlovability, I give it to God, you redirect your faith to Holy Spirit. You redirect your faith. And when you redirect your faith, when you release those stories, give it away to God, it opens up a space. And that space, you then have the opportunity to fill it with love for yourself. When you give away a belief, what's an example? I'm unworthy of X. I'm unworthy of X. I don't deserve it. I can't have it. I'm not good enough. That's a belief and it's not real. It's a story, but you filled that belief with your faith. And when you go, okay, I'm taking this belief, I'm tossing it up. I'm tossing it up to the divine. I literally will take my stories like this and do the physical toss it up, get rid of it. Toss it up to the divine. And then it leaves a space. Suddenly you don't have that story filling up this space. And that's your opportunity to go in and fill that up with love, to see yourself for who you are and to fall in love with yourself all over again. Because when you fall in love with yourself, that's when everything gets right for you. Working on that self-love piece, it is a radical act of devotion because again, you are God. Okay. You are not just created in God's image. You are God. You are God. And you have created this physical experience because God wants to play. God wants to play. And God wants to play in love. You want to play in love. So show up and start to redirect that energy. Toss the stories aside. Toss them up to God. Give them away. Give it away. Give it away. Every little thing, give it away. Bring it back to yourself. Love yourself. And then the story of your life unfolds the way it's meant to be, in love, in curiosity, in excitement, in delight. That's what you're after. This is the new paradigm. Give this to yourself. And then that is your hard work. Okay, that's the hard work you do to expand the consciousness of this planet, to lift all of us up to divine spirit, to divine love. It's an amazing time to be alive. And I'm so grateful to be here and be alive with you and to be on this journey and in this paradigm and rocking the self-love game. Okay. So I have Miss Sweet Yvonne Marie, who I'm going to bring on, and we're going to talk more about this because she's got some juice around this. And Miss Yvonne, welcome.
Hello, hello.
Hello, darling. All right.
Sitting here writing these notes, trying to figure out if I can read them.
Good luck. I actually have to rewrite everything that I channel. And sometimes I'll be like, what? Hang on.
Yes. So the first thing that hit me when I was listening to the message and listening to you talk about it is how easy it is for us to believe that we are the image that we see in this fun house mirror of conditioning.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, imagine that mirror. Everybody's been to a fun house where we've seen it on TV. You step in front of one, exactly. The next one, it's like this. But that is how our conditioning shows up. I mean, 1 minute we're our Aunt Sadie's crazy, whatever it was that she showed us when we were 3, that's coming up. Everybody who's imprinted on us, especially that early imprinting that we don't remember, that's all part of our conditioning. And it's an illusion. It's a story that we can release with our commitment to God.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so simple, but I think so many of us, we make it really, really hard on ourselves.
We do make it really hard on ourselves. And here's a way to kind of make this process, I think, a little easier is we don't have to know exactly where the stories came from, where the not love belief came from. It may come clear, it may not. I feel like it comes clear when it's useful for us to have it be clear. And it's sort of an emerging as opposed to a digging, like digging into our stories, like deeper and deeper into our stories to find the original story, sort of counterproductive. But we know what the unconditioned belief or the words are hard today. Conditioned unlovability. We know what that feels like.
Right.
And I think it'd be really valuable to spend a little bit of time sort of talking about what this unlovability feels like inside of us. What are some of the things that we can toss up to God right away? We don't have to know the origin of the belief, but we have the belief. And it's an interesting because beliefs, we can overlook beliefs really easily because, well, I believe it. It must be true. No. Definitely not. Definitely not.
Absolutely.
What do you think? What's an example for you where you have some unlovability, like conditioned unlovability, some belief that you're ready to toss up to the divine and open up space?
So I have a lot of learned helplessness.
Oh.
That shows up a lot for me. Basically, it was inconvenient for me to get in the way when I was younger because I am a deeply inquisitive person, and I probably had, 300 questions a day between the hours of 3 and 10 p.m. when I was 7 years old. So I have a lot of learned helplessness around questioning things. So I will take things on as if they are actual truths instead of questioning them just because of that early childhood conditioning. I think we all have a piece of that, and learning to love ourselves and get out of the way sometimes it's a challenge. You know? It's a challenge to learn that.
Yeah. So the helplessness, that's definitely a big one when we find ourselves in a victim place, in a helpless place, like, oh no, I can't, however it manifests.
Exactly.
That's something we can give up to spirit right away. Well, no, take this away. And then when we really give it up, when we really fully go, you can have this. I'm ready to not have this anymore. Right. That intention is everything. That intention is powerful. And here's the thing. Sometimes, a lot of times when we are really ready to give up a belief, a conditioned belief, then life changes. Something really drastic can change in your life because your physical reality is literally recreating itself to match this brand new energy that you've got. So it's pivotal to consciously fill that space up with what you want. With love.
Yes.
Love. Because it's easy to sort of put some other gunk in there.
It's easy to chase your tail. I mean, I think that's what a lot of us do. My daughter's cat showed me a beautiful example of that. She just jumped in the bathtub the other day and was spinning around chasing her tail, having a good old time. Right. But she doesn't have programming in her head. For her, it's just a fun thing. But a lot of us will chase our tail because the programming seems so real. Yeah. That the fear of saying, okay, I see that impediment. and I no longer want to contain myself, keep myself small, impede myself. I see it, I release it. I have no idea what it looks like afterwards.
Yeah.
But I know I don't want this.
Yeah. Yeah.
That takes a minute.
It does. And you bring up something really powerful that is important to touch on. I mean, change is terrifying for humans. We don't like it. Like we think even, we most of us, when we're kind of living unconsciously or not really focused, not super committed, we will default to base behavior, base conditioning, base beliefs, because it's what we know and it's what's comfortable. When that space opens up, that can be a really, we talk about like when you're in limbo, when you go through those periods where, and this limbo experience, when you're in that space where you're just like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. I don't know who I am. I think anybody on a spiritual path goes through that, not infrequently. We're all like, oh God, I'm in limbo. And, it's still terrifying to me. I've just like kind of been in that and sort of coming out the other side now. And it's still like, oh God, that wide open space where all the possibilities of creation are available to me. How terrifying. But that is your opportunity to show up and come back home and love yourself and give yourself more love. Acknowledge yourself, love yourself, feel yourself. And then you fill up that space with God, because that's all it is.
It's funny, as you were talking about that, I was thinking it's also a beautiful chance to get naked and remake yourself in authenticity.
Yeah.
And find those threads that are conditioning, that are trauma related, and just go ahead and pull those out. Because Harry Potter, pull those out.
I love that you just referenced Harry Potter. My partner and I are literally watching every single Harry Potter movie. We're going to watch the last one tonight. I can't make this stuff up. Yeah.
Pulling those thoughts out, it's almost I don't even know how to put this. Words are hard today.
Words are hard today.
It's a full spectrum of opportunity that becomes open to us once we decide to check the bullshit of our programming, our story. We recognize what is learned helplessness, and what is our own authentic creation. Yeah. Not only of who we are in this moment, but something that's broad enough that we can continue to grow into it.
It's about showing up as we truly are and not pulling ourselves away from who we truly are through our fears and unlovability and and all that. To bring yourself back to center, bring yourself back to love, shows you who you truly are. Right. And who you truly are is everything that is going to make you happy and fulfilled. That's really key. Self-love is the way to happiness and fulfillment. Let's talk a little bit about ways to love yourself, because people don't know how to do that. We're not taught how to love ourselves. What are some of the ways you show up and you love yourself?
For me, it's. I think it's different for everybody. But for me, dealing with my health challenges, I think one of the ways I really show up and love myself is allowing myself to do or feel whatever comes up. If I wake up and I'm just hurting, I'm going to give myself permission to take that day and take care of myself. If I wake up and I'm hungry, and I don't mean for food, I'm hungry for experience. I'm hungry to see things move and hear things make noise. Yeah. I'm going to do something completely different. So I think loving yourself is really allowing yourself to be messy and almost be in that childlike state of seeing yourself through a lens of ease, play, comfort, and knowing that every day you're going to be a little bit different. Yeah. Especially if there are a lot of people who really know themselves. They see themselves very clearly. But for those of us who have deep conditioning, good or bad, I think the ones that have real hardcore conditioning that should be this XXX, and we consider it to be on a positive track. Like, for example, Son of a Doctor is on this, is on the,
Oh, you bring up a really good point there. Exactly. It's still inauthentic a lot of the time.
And that's the thing. Is it really what they want, what they feel, or is it something that is, driven by need, programming, expectations? I think when we can step away from that overlay of our conditioning and really feel into what makes us tick as a human being. That's a juicy place. And I think for some of us, it's a hard place to even see.
It is such self-love, though.
Mm-hmm.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, the one of the big ways that I love myself is I don't judge my human experience.
Mm-hmm.
I don't judge my human experience. My friend Lisa Greenfield calls it caught being human, which I think is great.
Right.
It's hilarious. So caught being human. I have gotten to the point, or I'm training myself and making headway, which I'm pleased to say, where when I have a human experience, maybe I have like a little ego fit, or I, say something like kind of pop off with something without thinking about it. What I'll do is I'll be like, okay, there's a human experience. What do I need to do to make that right if I went out of alignment with my core authentic self? And then I make it right to the best of my ability and I let it go. I refuse to judge my human experience. But at the same time, I'm deeply committed to showing up in integrity, authenticity, and kindness. Mm-hmm. And so when I deviate from that, which is my authentic core, it's because I'm in conditioned unlovability. I've got an ego story running. I'm scared. I'm mad. I'm whatever it is, but when I deviate from that, I don't beat myself up for it. I get back to center, communicate what I need to communicate, and I move on. And I keep showing up.
That's one of my quote unquote weaknesses, is that I usually tend to beat myself up about it. I'm working on it.
Yeah. Well, it has been mine too. And I have my moments. In fact, yesterday I was having a conversation. I called up my son who's living at his dad's, and, he used to live with me. We used to spend all our time together. Mm-hmm. And, I've been having these little, I don't see him very often anymore. So I called him up because I missed him. And I said, hey, maybe I can come get you tomorrow afternoon. We can hang out. He goes, no, I think I'm going to call Zach and go dirt bike riding. You know what I said to him? Poor kid. I'm like, oh, blow off your mom. Why don't you? Whoa. Wow. Yeah. Whoa. That was all me stepping out of line from, my authentic self, my authentic core, which is showing me kindness, integrity, and love. And I didn't really realize I'd done that. But what happened is I had really stressful dreams about my kid all night. And I woke up this morning and went, oh, I said that to him. It was out of alignment. And it bothered me. And part of me was like just trying to be funny and joshing. But there was also a part that was like, oh, okay, that came out. So, my job is now so I beat myself up for a while. Apparently I beat myself up all night. I was dreaming about it. I got up, beat myself up. But what I did is I went into my body. I went into spirit. I felt my way through it. I got to the core of it. And then I gave it to God. And next time I talk to him, I'm going to say, oh, sorry. You know, jab. Sorry. Love you. See you Friday. Have fun dirt bike riding.
It's a hard place to get to, though, to realize that our kids came through us. They're not ours.
Right. And weirdly, he doesn't want to hang out with his mom every opportunity.
I know. And that's awesome. No, watching totally that with my own children. I mean, they don't need me. They do, but they don't. My youngest daughter and I are very, very close. Mm-hmm. But there are times when, it's mom this, mommy, 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 and which of course I love. But I also know I have to stand back and let her do it on her own 2 feet. I can't constantly come in and rescue.
Yeah.
Because then I'm teaching her learned helplessness.
Right. Well, and that's just beautiful. It's like, that's just, when you show up in integrity and on this authenticity in yourself, and you love yourself, and the ways you love yourself are by staying in alignment, then we don't have to say or teach or do anything. Simply by our lived experience, we help other people find their own authenticity and their own alignment and live fully and joyfully in that space, especially our children.
Yes.
Especially our children. My son is really happy nowadays. And that comes from the healing of me and his father, and, being able to be in a place where he can do his healing. And when you heal yourself, like they say, you heal your lineage both
absolutely,
ways.
Absolutely. And I think
another way. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. No, go for it.
Well, I wanted to give another couple of little tidbits about how to go about and love yourself, because again, I'm getting the hit that people are like, okay, great. How do I do that? What are some concrete, practical things we can do? I think we've given some really good ones. What's another way where you show up and you love yourself?
So you know how I am. I kind of take things down to a science experiment. I think I'm my biggest science experiment. The icky feelings, the stuff that's hard to hold, I shouldn't call them icky because that's, we're cataloging them. But the feelings that are hard to hold, the things that are uncomfortable, the stories, I tend to write it all down. And look at it with an analytical mind. And what's mine?
Yeah.
Analytical mind. And what's mine? What are actually beliefs that originated from me, and what are things that are conditioned, or where did that come from? But I'll just write all these things down and get it out of me. Get the feelings out on paper. That really helps me, because then I can see that they are stories. The other thing that I do is I'm careful about my input, my sources of input. I'm very careful who I spend time with, especially when I'm vulnerable or I feel like I'm changing. I'm in a state of rapid evolution. I'm very careful about the people who I allow to consume my company. And I think you've seen that with me. When I'm changing rapidly, or I'm working through something difficult, I'll call you, meet you for a cup of coffee, but they're not a lot of people that I want to be around. And I think it's important to, when you're in those stages of rapid evolution, to really kind of be aware of what you're consuming. Both television, any input.
Absolutely.
Any input, food.
One of the things I've started doing for my self-care on that note, I really like that, like being really careful about the input, especially when you're open, you're vulnerable like that, because that's when you're way open to conditioned unlovability. But what I do is so my mornings are really sacred to me. I don't schedule anything before 10 o'clock in the morning.
Please, Ingrid, just 9 o'clock.
Nope. Not doing it at 9 o'clock, because that's my sacred time. And one of the things that I'm really I'm more and more conscious of is social media in the morning. It used to be a habit of mine to get up and drink my coffee and scroll social media, because I'm one of those people, I'm super introverted. I like to be alone, but I like to socialize too. So social media is like my jam, right? I can go out there and do. And while my social media feeds tend to be pretty dang positive, there's still it's like a sucking in. Technology is a lower vibration, which for people who are very, very sensitive, like you, Yvonne, and like me, I find it can actually be grounding to be around technology. You can kind of be like, okay, I'm in the world. When I go out into nature, which is another self-love act, I just, with no tech, whoosh, it opens up really quickly, which is great, but it's got to be grounded and practical. And I actually feel like technology and using technology is a way that I get grounded and be able to share messages from spirit in a really practical way. But in the mornings, when I'm in that sacred space and I'm needing to be really conscious of how I start my day, I limit social media. I might check my messages, but then I'm going to put it away and put the phone away and get into my drinking water, doing a little yoga, taking care of my body, meditating. And then I clean my space too. Cleaning space is an act of self-care, which for self-love, which for me is like, I've never liked to clean house. It's like a waste of life, but I'll just throw on some audio, some inspiring audio, like maybe Abraham Hicks or something like that. And I'll go out and I'll clean up my space. And then by 10 o'clock for my first appointment, whether, class, I'm ready to go. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling aligned. I have given myself oodles of self-love. So I feel like starting off your mornings with your spiritual practice, whatever that looks like, giving yourself as much time as you need to, even if you have to get up early. I set my alarm and get up way earlier than I need to, because I need that time in the morning. I need that sacred space.
Yes. And that's one of the areas that, as you know, I struggle with. Because I am by nature, I was a night owl. And every now and then my sleeping will get off and I'll sleep in a little bit too late. And then I end up staying up all night long. And the next night I'll go to bed early. That morning thing is, it's really important. What we fuel ourselves first thing in the morning. That's so really, that's why I don't do caffeine first thing in the morning anymore, unless today is Sunday. And then I treat myself to coffee out and sit outside in the sunshine. But the morning is really important. How you start the day, I think it really can set you on that path of being calm and intuitive. Or if you go back to sleep for 15 minutes and all of a sudden you're rushing, that seems to stay with us all day long.
I feel that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you hear me harp on the morning practice a lot in our Bhava community. Like, oh God, it does. But it's got to be what's right for you.
Right.
I mean, the thing that I think that we're really trying to get across here is like self-love is different for everybody. Our conditioning is different. Some of it overlaps, some of it's the same, but it's all a really unique experience. And giving that up and filling that with love, however that looks for you, is appropriate. There's no right or wrong way to do this stuff. There's your way. And our job at Bhava is to help you create enough structure so that you can really build your own structure. So as always, take what resonates with you, discard the rest.
I have a question for you. What would you advise busy mothers, like young mothers, young fathers who are doing the thing. They're doing the childcare. They're staying home and trying to manage COVID. What would you suggest for young mothers and fathers who have minimal time? What kind of practice would you suggest?
Spirit said to me one time, find peace in the cracks of your life. And I got this message from Spirit when my life was insane and I had 6 kids I was helping to manage and, all that stuff. And I was like getting real rattled. So it's true. Not everybody has the ability to, take their mornings till 10 a.m., and do their sacred time. But with children and with everything going on, you have to make it a priority somewhere. So first of all, find peace in the cracks of your life. So when you find downtime, you take it and you go within and you get disciplined about nourishing yourself, your energy and your body over, right? Which is like, I think I'm gonna drink a glass of wine. Well, okay, you could drink a glass of wine. Maybe that's self-love, but it's unlikely because what you're doing is you're taking yourself out of yourself when you're putting a substance into your body. And I'm not saying never drink a glass of wine, but if you're at the place where you're like, I am desperately needing nourishment, a glass of wine is not going to give you nourishment. It's going to give you a very temporary reprieve, but it's a checking out. And when you get back, everything's going to be the same. And also, I know young children get up early, like I get it, but get yourself up earlier. Give yourself a 30 minutes, for you to go in, stay off your phone, give yourself that space, whatever that looks like for you. Is it meditation? Is it yoga? Is it sitting with your cup of coffee and staring at the floor mindlessly? That's meditative, right?
Yes.
So it's like you said earlier, be really conscious about what you're putting in, your input, while you're taking that space. And throughout your day, you find peace in the cracks of your life. Maybe you're doing dishes and the kids are watching a movie and the dishes got to get done, but maybe you throw on something inspirational or some music that you love and maybe you make the dishes a meditative process. Start incorporating spirit and God into your life in a way that is nourishing to you, in a way that you love yourself. And also your thinking, reframe. That's something you talk about a lot, Yvonne. Learning to reframe your thoughts. Oh God, I gotta get these goddamn dishes done and I'm so tired. Okay. But those dishes being done, that sink being clear, how good does that feel? How good does that feel? How is that raising the vibration and raising your spirit? And again, as always, it's a practice. Right. It's a practice. And you got to love yourself through it. And when you're in pain and you're pissed or you're grieving or you're stressed, like we talked about at the very beginning, give it to God.
Yes.
Give it to God. Open up space, fill that space with love. And it's a practice. No one's going to get it right the first time. No one's going to, it's just, some days we're going to be rocking it. And some days we're going to be popping off something weird to our kid because we're having a moment. Okay, back to apologize. It's okay.
Yeah.
Don't judge yourself through a human experience.
I'm going to add just even the moment that it takes to think, hey, I need a little spirit juice. I'm struggling.
Yeah.
Just that moment of coming to the realization that I'm holding stuff that's heavy. Yeah. And I need a little help.
Yeah.
That right there is self-love. Just knowing that you need a little extra care.
Yeah.
And nobody likes doing dishes and cleaning house.
Yeah.
Except for those people that do. I have a friend.
I was going to say, well, some people
There
do.
are a couple people
There
that
are
like
people
doing
that
that.
really like that, and they're.
If you need to know where I live and you want a clean house, let me know. leave a note in the comments.
Well, you're hired.
But those chores have to get done. They're going to need to get done. The more that we can find a little bit of a reprieve.
Mm-hmm.
The kids are playing quietly, and I'm going to go do 3 dishes and see the divine in that moment.
Yeah.
The divine in being able to step away and do something different.
Yeah.
There's always a way to connect. But I think a lot of us go into that anger place, which is a place of defensiveness, which takes us out of that flow. It's easy to do both things. It's easy to reconnect. It's easy to slip out of it. The intention's really important, I believe.
Yeah. And you know what? On that note, and I'm going to close with this because it's feeling pretty complete, but a radical act of self-love is asking for help.
Amen.
Yep.
Amen.
And that doesn't mean you ask for help and expect somebody to give you the answer you want. It means having the courage to open up your energy and ask for help. Putting it out there, no matter who you put it out there to, whatever they say, yes or no, opens you up to receive that help. I want to tell a really quick story. Okay. In another life, I was attempting to launch a marketing agency. And it was so interesting this time in my life. I quit my job. I went to launch a marketing agency because I knew I wanted to be self-employed, but I didn't yet have any clue like what I was really meant to do because I wasn't there yet. And so I tried to start a marketing agency. It was absolutely brilliant idea. The business plan was ace. There was no way it could fail, except every step, every turn I took, it was like I either like almost landed clients but they fell through, or I would land clients and they would be god awful. Like they'd take off with they wouldn't pay their bills and they would like come and attack. I mean, it was just terrible, but really it was the universe going, yep, not for you. Not what you're meant to do. But this one time, I had a client send me a really awful, nasty, attacking email about the work that me and my team had done. And I was just like, I don't even know how to respond to that. I was panicked, And so I'm driving down the road and I just had this moment where I just went, oh, I need some help with this. I don't know what to do about this. This is I feel out of my league. I don't know what to do about this. And not 2 minutes later, I get a phone call from my old boss, who was also my business mentor. And he just goes, hi, how you doing? What's going on? And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so glad you called. So I told him about the situation, this email I got and what was happening. And he goes, okay. And he sat down with me and he like read through and he helped me craft a response and be really like business professional. He just helped me through the whole process when I was feeling totally stuck and overwhelmed. And so, it's not like he called me every day. It was like he energetically heard the call. I opened myself up and said, I need help. And the right help came in. So asking for help is a radical act of self-love.
I agree.
We feel good?
Yeah. Even recognizing that you need help. Yes, I love it. It. Great place to stop.
Beautiful. All right. Well, I love you so much, Yvonne. Thank you so much for showing up and creating this sacred space. Thank you for joining us today and helping us create the sacred circle. This has been such a great conversation. It was such a great message to receive today. I do want to say that if you want to learn more about our organization, you can go to bhavamission.org. We are a non-denominational church. We are a digital church. We are here to help you live in partnership with Spirit, however that looks and feels for you. We are also open to new members. Okay. So our community is about deep healing, really understanding your spiritual gifts, developing your intuition so you can connect directly with the divine, just like we are doing here today, and then showing up and sharing that out in the world in whatever way feels most authentic to you. We have classes and sessions and discussion groups 5 days a week if you want to join us. We love what we do, and we are open for new members, and we are setting up interviews over the next week or two. So if you have heard this message today, if you're like vibing with me and with Yvonne, and you're like, this feels like a yes, then I want you to send me an email and let's set up a time to chat and see if it feels like a good fit or not. I would love to talk to you, as would Yvonne, right?
Yes.
And if this has been really helpful for you, we ask, we'd love for you to share this video, tag your friends in the comments, subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our page. Let's get the message out there. Let's get the message of love and self-love out there. It doesn't have to be hard anymore. There's a better way. There's a better way to live. Not a better way, that's maybe not the right word, but there's a happier way to live. And this is it right here. And finally, if you find our organization is beneficial to you, you show up for our videos every week and this is feeding you, we are a church and we do accept donations. So you can follow that link. You can do a one-time donation or you can set up a recurring donation. We're recurring monthly donation. Everything we do has hard costs and we love it. It's what we do. And your support helps us greatly in continuing to spread this message from Divine Spirit, to show up as a community and to broaden our expanse, our reach. You help us do that through your donations. So did I miss anything, Yvonne?
I don't think you did.
I think that did it. Okay. Well, on that note, Yvonne, I love you so
I love you
very
too.
much. And I'll see you really soon.
You'll see me soon.
All right. Goodbye. Thank you, darling.
Bye.